So the latest version of the M800 Pro is out right now in the market, competing in the budget category of wireless gaming mouse equipped with the latest 3395 sensor. But the question is, will it click? Let's go find out. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the shape and design. Basically, it's still the same with the previous M800 Pro 3370. Still a Razer Viper shape copycat, and everybody knows that, of course. But it's more on the middle ground between the Viper and the Viper Mini. So if you have a medium to small hand, I'm sure some of you will love the shape of this mouse. Aside from the new sensor, here are some changes from the previous version. They now remove the RGB except on the scroll wheel to make it more minimalistic and much more pro-looking mouse. I am not sure if the battery remains the same, but for a 500 mAh capacity, this is actually pretty good in the long runs, and yes, it's still a tri-mode connection. Surprisingly, DELUX added more free stuffs inside the box, besides the usual cable, adapter, and the manual. Okay, the build quality of this mouse to me is not good, honestly. With all the rattle that you hear inside when shaking is really annoying. Also, the sound and feel of the side buttons are one of the worst that I've tried, though they have a pretty good amount of pre and post travel. Plus, the so-called matte UV coating on this one is a big-time fingerprint and oil magnet. But to be fair, it gets grippy when your hand becomes sweaty. But if you have a dry hand, this is really slippery and easy to fade. Gaming with this is good, though the weight is a bit back heavy because of the large battery. You can still do all the grip styles with this mouse, and yes, the sensor works well and the switches are very responsive even at 0 to 2 milliseconds debounce time. You can play with any FPS or TPS games without being interrupted by the battery because it can last up to 80 plus hours of gaming, and charging it takes about 90 minutes to get fully charged. Speaking of endurance, this battery can last up to a month or more than a month when setting it to 125Hz using Bluetooth mode. But of course, you only use that when you're not gaming. By the way, all the settings can be configured in the software. Just download it and install it on your computer or laptop. So what do I think about this mouse? Well, this is a budget wireless mouse and I don't expect it to have any premium features. The bottom side for me looks cheap, and with all the rattling and loose stuffs makes it more cheaper. Also, I really recommend getting a grip tape for this mouse because the coating is really slippery. They should have included the grip tape since they already gave a glass and extra PTFE skates. So, it does not make sense to me why the grip tape is not included. Alright, so for a sub $50 price range, or sometimes you can get this at a lower price, if you are lucky, this is really something you might want to consider buying, especially if you're on a tight budget and you only want just one mouse for both gaming and productivity. Carrying this around while on the go is really handy because there's a pocket for the USB receiver in the mouse. So if you don't mind the build quality, weight, coating, and all the bad stuff that I mentioned earlier, I'd say go for this mouse because overall, it is not as bad as you think. The M800 Pro 3395 is a decent wireless gaming mouse for less. And there you go guys, if you find this review helpful, please consider subscribing, give a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I'll see you again on the next one. As always, GG.